This month, June 2022, we teamed up with Rebo to release All We Got Is Us 2, a full-length graffiti video now available on our Patreon. The video runs 53 minutes long and features parts from TD, Dessa MTA, Smo, Rebo, Bat, XSM, Asset, Deck 2DX, Rehab Iraq, Charlie the Hustler, OJ Skid, Zam, Volvo, CO, Zers, Panic, Talker, Xaver, South, Anger, BO, Snens, and MTNW. The entire video was recorded on high-8 tape, paying homage to graph videos of the past with a mix of both old-school legends and active writers from New York's current scene. Lots of work went into this video, and we are super proud to be releasing this project with Rebo. The video will not be made public for a very long time and is available only via our product tier on Patreon. Each month, we provide our members with products like silver mops, books, sticker packs, and prints. The video is available to all of our members on our product tier. We also have new episodes from Rebo LNE and Zers OTL on our Patreon. These are available on our lower tier, which gives access to our entire episode library. Interviews from Dessa MTA, Mike Iraq, Bat, Ola, Rebo LNE, Zers, Sabe KST, Wayne COD, Diego 127, Dual Risks, Host 18, XSM, Cash 4, Les YKK, and Sake. Members also gain access to AZ Radio, conversations of Z and I speaking on topics from graffiti to mental health, martial arts, fasting, and the modern world. The link to our Patreon is in this episode's description. Once again, immense thank you to everybody who's ever shown us an ounce of support, and to anyone who watches the video, we thoroughly hope you enjoy it.
Hey, this is Claw Money, and you're listening to Angel and Z, sponsored by Art Primo. What is Art Primo, you ask? How dare you? Art Primo is a graffiti shop that was started by writers for writers in Seattle in 2001, and they have stayed true to their roots for over 20 years, offering everything from caps to inks to paint to refillable mops. They got nibs, they got jibs, they got caps, solids, zines, books, and more. And their how-to videos and YouTube channel are legendary. Art Primo strives to keep their prices low and quality high, hand pouring all of their mops and inks in their Seattle warehouse, shipping orders on the same day, and their site is a source of information for all types of writing tools. Tools for what? Tools for the revolution.
Thank you once again for coming on the show.
Oh my God, thanks for having me.
The legendary.
You were one of the first people who came on, supported us from early on, and helped us out a lot. So we have so much gratitude for that. You have no idea.
Well, the world needs good quality graffiti podcasts, and there are none. So There you guys are. I'm here for it.
Well, thank you. I guess we should start it with the stuff you're doing with Art Primo. So what's the deal with that?
It's dropping today. I'm super excited. It's my 20-year anniversary. Oh my God, Claw Money's 20 years old. It's really crazy to think about because it seems like it's last year, and then also it seems like I've been doing it for 100 years. So I'm doing all special collaborations this year for my 20-year anniversary with women-led businesses, and I came out with a subway token necklace in January. We came out with this crazy jersey with my bestie and old assistant Haley in Feb. In March, we came out with a CBD claw-shaped bath bomb that comes with a CBD joint inside. And we just dropped these crazy, whatever. I have 1,000 things going on. Let me just restate that. And now we're coming out with these crazy resin ashtrays with claws in them. And now Art Primo. All the collaborations I do, for my brand, whatever, blah, 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 have always been about pushing graffiti out. And sort of changing people's minds, what graffiti is, who graffiti writers are, changing expectations and pushing the culture out. And this Art Primo collab is so cool because I'm actually going back to graffiti. Mm-hmm. I'm making a mop. I'm so excited I'm having my own marker. It's like super thrilling to sort of pay homage to like the culture that brought me to where I am. And also I like love the Art Primo crew. I met them and we became besties. There's so much crazy stories about Art Primo. You should dig around. I bet it would be like the most sick podcast. You know who made the Art Primo logo?
Oh.
Katsu.
I actually, didn't he say that in there was like a Twitter space talk that you guys talked about? And I'm pretty
That's
sure
right. I'm telling you, I'm talking
Yeah.
like it's Art Primo. People should really know about this company. It's really cool. They hand make their inks. I mean, it's whatever. I want to work with people that really care about their customers. They really care about their product, and they really care about the culture. And it's just a win-win. So we're doing some merch. We're making a tee, sweatshirt. We got a bag, and we got the mop. And the party's today. So come on down to Sweet and Vicious if you're in NYC.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty crazy that you were able to sustain the business for 20 years because, you know, it's like the stats are, it's like within the first year, then within the first 5 years, like the percentage of businesses that can't make it, especially being self-employed. I know you went to school for like fashion and you were essentially just painting graph, but neither of those necessarily have a direct correlation to like how to do this, how to build a brand, how to keep it going for years. And it's not, obviously it's not easy. It takes so much work. What do you think, like when you look back on the 20 years and how long it's been and everything you've done with it, what is that, like what comes to mind?
I mean, I think I like really respect graffiti as a culture. And the thing about graffiti that's so difficult with like in relation to business is that it's not about capitalism. It's not about money. Right? Really sort of, it's the opposite of capitalism. So how do you like bring money into something that isn't transactional in that way? It's difficult. But I think that I've always been like true to the culture, whether people are like my fans or not. Like I always give respect to graffiti. And I like really, you know, care about women in this culture. I care about, you know, aesthetics in this culture. I care about the history of this culture. And I think people know that. So I think that's really the secret of my success is that I am really like true to the culture, even though you could just be like, oh, this bitch is a sellout or whatever. I can't be on the streets forever, you know? Somebody gotta fucking go to work. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I had this like clear choice that I had to make. And it was like, how am I going to stop painting, but yet still like kind of make an impact? And sort of a pathway for young people to kind of learn from and come behind and, you know, make even a greater impact on top of that. So, you know, that's like my biggest achievement is that, you know, all the great people that I've met and worked with and young people that I've worked with that have, you know, gone on to great things. Those are my greatest achievements. I mean, besides my Art Primo marker. I mean, you know.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say congrats
on
20 years. That's insane because I just think of myself like watching, you know, your bombing with 17 on Infamy. That interview, just all that was just so nostalgic and like.
Can you believe that was 19 years ago? That was
that's
filmed 19 years
ago.
That's
wow.
insane. Yeah, and like just thinking about. You know, I was actually talking to my girl yesterday, and I told her that you were coming on, and she was like, that is insane. Like, when she was trying to do, like, sewing and embroidery, like, 10 years ago or something, she would look up your articles and photos and see what you were doing, and, like, it's just insane, like, what it's become, like, all of this.
Yeah, well, the Claw has taken on its own meaning, some of which I assigned to it and some of which sort of was pushed onto it by other people. Which, you know, if I liked it, I kept it. And if I didn't, I sort of like shook it off. But I think the beauty of the claw is that it can mean so many things to so many people. And it doesn't have to mean one, it doesn't have to be like, oh, that's New York City graffiti, or that's streetwear company, or that's, you know, a woman artist, or that's a cat lover, or whatever. It can really soak up the characteristics of the viewer. And so you can sort of just like project what your own meaning onto it. And thinking of it sort of like as this like hollow vessel of like many meanings, like sort of feather floating through the air, right? It's, you know, sort of like changing and shifting directions. Made it sort of easy for me to like make it into a hamburger, into a strawberry, into a slice of pizza, into a hot dog. A lot of food, right? You know, having it sort of be separate from me and like lets it take on its own meaning. So I like the claw. It's both sort of easy to work with and difficult because you don't want to sort of keep doing, like you see in one claw, you see them all, like you're like, great. So how do you keep that fresh and exciting? And it's sort of like, it all has to be conceptual. It all has to sort of like be conceptual. So even if the viewer is not understanding the concept, I know it's conceptual because it would be meaningless and purposelessness. That's not what life is about. Life is about, you know, purpose and, you know, communicating like, and, you know, for me anyway, positive messaging and stuff like that.
Well, in terms of making money in the space of essentially a company and a brand and just like a self-employed artist that is based off of graffiti and like the foundations of it is all within the graffiti. The main logo is like, you know, your throwy and stuff. How did you approach that in a way where you wouldn't consider yourself selling out, or what are your thoughts on the concept of selling out? Because I remember the last time we spoke, you talked about the idea of like this like non-functionality of being a real long-term bomber, someone who's like really out in the streets painting all the time. And through the people we've met through this show and the conversations we've had, it's like it presents itself like time and time and time again. The people who really do that get so fucked essentially from doing that even if they were like really down like to their hearts with that, they eventually stop and they get sick of it and almost hold like a resentment towards it.
I think, you know, would the claw be successful if I wasn't a shrewd business person? Like, I think it's more than just the graffiti. Not to like pat myself on the back, but I'm here to do business. And how am I here to do business today? Am I here to do business as Claw? Am I here to do business as Claw Money the brand? Am I here to do business as Claudia Gold the freelancer? You know, strategizer? You know, what capacity am I working in? The claw is a part of the business, but I wouldn't say that it's like its entirety. And that's I think the problem with a lot of artists is that they can't sort of separate themselves from the product. And then they're selling themselves. It feels really bad to them. You know what I mean? This is them. This is their identity. The claw is my identity, but it's also not my identity. I've really become sort of bothered being reduced to a brand. I'm a person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a living, breathing person. I do, regular stuff like everybody else. And then there's this sort of, corporatization of who Claw Money is that real? Is that me? Is that Claudia Gold? Like at the end of the day. So that's a hard thing to wrestle with too. So you have like, okay, I'm owning this and this is my identity, and now I'm trying to sell it, and it's a difficult path to forge. And you're getting, let's say, lukewarm reviews, and, you know, people aren't reacting the way they are when it's free on the street, when they're forced to consume it. And then you're like, yeah, well, this shit is everywhere. You have no respect. You know what I mean? And I understand that too. So it's sort of like you have to be able to sort of divorce yourself from the art personally. It's business. It's not personal anymore. And that's where graffiti gets fucked up, because it's completely personal. It's art about me. It's self-promotion, right? It's self-actualization. How are you going to now think in this like very sophisticated business term where you're now like making a product that you can't be attached to because it will literally like hurt your heart that people are rejecting, or they're not reacting in the way that you want them to immediately. So it's very hard business to be in.
So you try to not be attached to the artwork that you're putting out in a way?
No, I'm attached to the artwork. I try to not be attached to Claw Money as an all-consuming idea of who I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be attached as a human being always to this business representation of who I am in this, you know, particular ecosystem, right? Right, like actors, they get to like act and then they get to like be themselves. But like when you're an artist, like you are just that. You are that character, and you need to play that at all times. And that is difficult. And it's also dehumanizing in a way. You know what I mean? Like, do you think the guys from GE are like, I'm GE, you know, I'm General Electric? No, they're fucking Bob Smith or what. You know what I mean? It's like, graffiti is so personal. I think it would be it is a very difficult thing to put out there and to ask for money for. Also, since we're talking business, you know, I'm fucking around with this like NFT stuff, and I think it's so fucking stupid. Just by the way, but everybody buy my NFTs, whatever. I'm going all city in the metaverse. I'm going all metaverse in the metaverse, baby. With Art Primo markers, no less. I mean, come on. Graffiti is not, no one cares about graffiti in NFTs. They like the aesthetic. They like the way it looks. They don't care who painted it. They're here for the car commercials where they see like a flash of this, or, you know, the video game edit, right? Can graffiti live in the metaverse when the community, right? They're always talking this like community thing. I don't know if you know about all this NFT shit. They're like, the community is behind. You need to like get a community. I have a fucking community. My community supports me when they can afford it by buying items, and I like to have lots of inexpensive items, so there's like something for everyone. At clawmoney.com, I think we have stuff for like $1 on the site, because if you want it, you should be able to get it. But our community supports us in a different way than buying NFTs. There's these chicks, they get claw tattoos on them. There's like 30 of these chicks. They just keep popping up on like Instagram showing me they're like, and will those women buy my NFTs? No, but they're willing to walk around with like a claw symbol on them because it means something so much to them. It just doesn't quantify the same. That's why graffiti and business have trouble mixing. It's like oil and water.
What about NFTs do you think is stupid?
Well, I've been a digital artist for like 25 plus years, right? So I've been making digital art, and it's always been this like throwaway thing that you use for promotion. And meanwhile, this is like the whole fucking art business. Exposure. You got to make this flyer. You got to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly like doing these like outputs for no ROI, return on investment, right? Like, you're spending all this hours making stuff, put it out there, advertise your party, advertise your co-brand, whatever it is. The idea of NFT is really cool because I have so much work. I have so much work that people haven't seen, so many like rejected concepts that were like really good for something, and then the deal went bad and we just kind of shelved it. It's a good idea, but like, let's save it. So the idea of NFT is really cool, but then you're like, okay, I have like a digital file. Like, I must say I've never bought a fucking piece of music in my life. Okay, does that make me a scumbag? Maybe. When Napster came out, I was like, I'm never buying music. I'm downloading everything, this and that. My girl's like, you don't pay for her Spotify? You listen to commercials? I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving them any money. It's almost, I have the same attitude about like digital shit too. Also, that's why you never see pictures of illegal claw stuff from the 90s just floating around on the internet, because I guard those fucking pictures. Those are my files. That is my, like, when I'm ready to present that, I don't want to just put that up on Instagram. It's funny. So the girls that work for me that do social media, they're like, oh, we found all these photos that nobody's ever seen. We're going to put them on Claw & Co. I'm like, don't. That's all I got. That's my... You know what I mean? Like, once that's out there, it can be duplicated 900 times. And no matter what you do with an NFT, no matter what ownership you have over it, it's still really, it's just like this file that can be replicated.
But isn't the point of an NFT that it can't be replicated? It's non-fungible. It's like one of one. Like, you can't
be sold. It can be replicated. It can't be like sold and like minted on the blockchain. I also think the blockchain scares me a little bit, because I think it's going to get people into intellectual property problems. Okay, I'm the type of bitch who throws a fucking Chanel logo on a t-shirt in 2002 and got a cease and desist from Chanel. I ripped off Bloomingdale's. I had to deal with their lawyers. Like, I did like a whole Clawmingdale's thing. They were like, what is your website? It's fantastic. What is this? I was like, let's do a collaboration. They're like, take all that shit off the site. Anyway, all of like, how can we make digital files worth something? Can they be collectible? Is a virtual baseball card cool in comparison to something that you can hold in your hand? And I think we as humans, there is nothing for this, that face-to-face, in-hand, touching atoms and molecules, whatever the fuck it is, that cannot be replicated digitally. Mm-hmm. But then again, I'm the same person. These musicians are making millions of dollars. People are spending money to support them. I love Drake. I'm going to buy his album. I love this. I'm buying, like, I'm like, oh, spending shit. I'm like, I'm going to download that for free. I feel the same way about NFTs.
So you feel like the digital space doesn't have as much worth terms of, like, true collection?
In terms of true, I don't think you can replace a physical item for a digital item, like swap for swap. I don't think it has the same feeling. You know, like when we all went online, like in the early 2000s, and like shopping online was like exciting. You get like a box. Now it's like so standard. It's very flat. It's a very flat experience buying something digitally, whatever it is. Unless you get, I guess, immediate gratification, let's say like an album, right? Here I go. I'm like, refuse to spend money on this. But I can't imagine that there is like, like you buy something and you're like, okay, I'll wait 3 days till it comes, like, and then I can wear it. You don't have that same experience of like walking out with something. Yes, it's great to get a box. Yes, you open it up. Yes, you got your thing. Yes, you're psyched. But there's hours, there's days sometimes in between these experiences. Somebody has to figure that out. How do we merge like some sort of gratification with like digital. I don't know. We're not there yet. But if NFTs don't work, and they are Beanie Babies, because that's what they're saying now. There's like a whole, I don't know if your listeners are interested in NFT. I have like tons and tons of theories, but I think it's going to change and turn into something else. And whatever it turns into, I'm really interested. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, digital art is my shit. That's what I do. Like, that's most of my time is doing digital art.
But do you think that, as these things grow and progress, like the generations coming, all they will know is pretty much like NFT and the metaverse and digital like reality and all this kind of stuff. Like if that becomes what it is.
Because of global warming, you'll never be able to leave your house, mm-hmm. right? You won't have any money. You can't buy anything. The room you live in is so small. You can't have 1 million pairs of sneakers and a Dunny collection and tons of art hanging on the wall. You live in a tiny thing with your VR headset and your, squeezy pack of nutrition or whatever the fuck it's going to be, right? Do we want to be the ones laying the foundation to bring people inside for this like terrible new dystopian future? Or do we want to like look at it and like sort of explore it? It's something new. It's something to talk about. It's something to like get familiarized with, right? Like if this is a thing, but I see there's a big rejection of it. I think that people are looking at a lot of these projects as like pure shit because they are. They're garbage. There's no culture creators in there. The aesthetics are bad. These marketplaces are not curating. Like somebody who knows how to do something is going to come in there and they're going to fucking take over. And it's going to change from something from NFT into some other something.
Yeah.
Let these companies pay. Let these corporations pay for digital art. Why does it have to be put on the little man? And then, paying these like hedge funds to pay these like artists on Fiverr like $2 an hour to make like these collections. Like it's really, really fucked up.
Well, what do you think about the fact that in terms of NFTs, people use them for like their utilities? They attach utilities with them. That's number one. And number two, the thought of an NFT kind of as like a new medium that artists can use to almost like self-empower themselves to make money and make a living off of this new medium, similar to like maybe oil and acrylic. Then people use like spray paint, and now there's NFTs. And like in terms of the digital versus the physical world, like a lot of our money is digital. Like my bank account is digital. What do you think about that?
Okay. I think blockchain is here to stay. I think you are going to buy your coffee from an NFT, like a Starbucks reward card. You're going to walk in, you're going to be like, here is my Starbucks NFT. And they'll be like, oh, it's your 10th cup of coffee. It's free. This is your free, right? And they're data tracking you. This technology is data tracking your spending, and it is turning you into, it makes the consumer the commodity. Like you're the commodity, the buyer. You know what I mean? Like how can I get? So, you're shopping. You go to Starbucks 3 times a week, and you do this and you do that. Like all your shit is going to be watched.
And that's why you don't like the blockchain.
Right. I like that, like, my bank has this information. This other people have this other information. This credit card has this information. Maybe they are centralizing and they're like, this bitch is in fucking Starbucks way too much. Whatever it is, right? And they're like, we need to get her to buy a coffee pot and stay home or whatever, they do. I don't know. I don't know how, I heard that they have like a folder for each person. And they have like all your pictures, and like when you have kids on Facebook, they take like the pictures of the baby and they start a folder for them, and then they watch them like grow. And so by the time they're like log into their account, they're like, oh, we already know you. We've watched you grow up. Anyway, yes. So NFT is you're gonna buy your car. It's your note. your apartment, your lease is going to be on an NFT. It's a very true technology. The thing that they want to do with NFTs is they want to gamify it, like you're playing a video game. If you have this, then you can go to the next level. If you have this NFT, you get to go to the Claw Money Art Primo party. Okay, don't show up to this party today without your fucking NFT. You can't get in. Fuck that. What kind of party is that? What kind of party? I don't want to be at a party like that.
Have you ever seen the show Black Mirror?
No, I've never, because I'm scared.
Yeah, you should definitely watch that, because they show all this, but like in, like we were saying, like a crazy dystopian reality where you have like a social credit score, and if you have like
they already do this.
certain
They
number,
do this in Asia.
yeah, and if you're not up to that number, let's say like you have to be a 3 to get on the bus. If you're a 2.9, they don't let you on the bus, or like, and they bring up like that thing. It's like if you play this game. It was a crazy episode. It's hard to explain, but like it's all about this.
It's right. Have you guys seen Ready Player One? I haven't seen it. I've tried to watch. I heard okay.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah, they are setting us up to be tracked 24/7, and like centralizing it all. And then also, I think that the NFT and the blockchain technology is dangerous. Because, we're all used to the internet being the wild, wild west, right? Steal a picture here, do a thing there, right? Like, I'll do what the fuck I want. I'm on the internet. Like, I got the picture off the internet. Instagram is like, you're violating copyright. You're like, what the fuck? This is the fucking internet. I'm stealing photos all day long. We've been doing this since the 90s, since whatever, right? The blockchain is going to be like, oh, no. I see this image. This image is owned by Chris Walker, and you want to put it here. You owe him money. It's good. I like being anonymous.
Do you think the blockchain will limit creation and possibilities because of shit like that?
No, but I also think the blockchain is cool, right? Like, so you can have a digital certificate of authenticity, right? You can't lose it. I mean, I guess you can if you lose your wallet, right? If you lose your seed phrase, you can never recover your money again. And they're like, this is where the big boys are. We write down our seed phrase in a book, and you're like, shut up. You can't you can't get your shit back with your social security number. I don't like that. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why my money's in the bank. It's FDIC insured. I don't want to have my money in such a volatile, reactive, I might change my mind about that. And I'm definitely fucking around with crypto just to learn about it. A couple $100 here and there. And all the money I made in my NFTs, I immediately turned into dollars. I was like, let's cash out right now. I want dollars. I should have waited 2 weeks. I would have had twice the amount of money, whatever.
So how did you get into you just said you sold some NFTs. How did you get into making them?
Well, Super Chief Gallery contacted me, and they were like, you know what? There's no women in NFTs. You need to make an NFT. You could take over the space, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, I got all crazy, and it took me an entire year to get it together because I was like, what do I even do? How do I even do that? Do I do a photo? Do I do an animation? How do I do it? What am I doing? I'm trying, is it the Lux Claw? Is it Street Claw? Is it Graphic Claw? Is it Sloppy Claw? What claw? What is my NFT? Because, your first NFT is, your hallmark forever. So dumb. No. I'm 20 years old. This is old. No. Look at my old stuff. So it took me a long time to understand it. And then I realized that nobody in that world knows anything about claw money. They know nothing about graffiti, nor do they really care. That's people who like certain subcultures find them, right? You like certain kinds of music, do research, you find where your people are, you like graffiti, you start doing, right? You're like, oh my God, the writers hang out here. If claw was meant to mix with California corporate crypto culture, they would have been known about me. They have I feel like I am launching my brand from day one, and I gotta work. I gotta quantify who the fuck I am. No. And you have to shill. You have to sell like a used car salesman. So now I'm like the anti-shiller, like, and I only go on to spaces where like I'm invited on, and I'm like, hey, it's me, Claw. I'm the king of everything. Hey, you should buy my NFTs because I'm like literally the best, and you guys are all fucking toys, and you know nothing, and that's it. And they don't like that. But that's how I am, and that's my brand message, and it's always sort of been that way. And like I'm joking. If you really are a fan of Claw, I'm the most self-deprecating person, but I'm also the best, and I am a fucking OG, and these crypto people should be fucking on my fucking tip. Get with it. They don't like women though. Like,
so
whatever.
They just don't know anything about graph.
Yeah, they don't. So they don't. But Katsu, right? He's so famous. Like NFT, like people don't really know, but they know. Like other people know. But like I did a space with like Katsu. There should have been like a gazillion people in there. He's the man. They don't. They need these like influencers to tell them what's hot, and those people get paid, and I don't pay people or influencers. Like, no,
So are you still making them?
Like,
what's the deal with the ones you've made and your plans?
I have a few up for sale that are still in the edition. I think we only have a few left. I'd like to sell out of them. I want to go back and give every single customer that's ever bought anything on clawmoney.world. It's now, we just relaunched clawmoney.world. A free NFT, and I'm trying to figure that out right now. I want to give free NFTs away. That I'm 100% into. The transactional money part, it's just like graffiti. That's what I'm interested in. How do you connect your wallet to Claw & Co. or now it's clawmoney.world and get your free, like you're my customer, I should hook you up. I already have a community. You guys already buy stuff from me. You deserve it first. Mm-hmm. Do I have to gamify everything? With this NFT, you get to do this, you get to do that, you get to do this, that. Like, I guess that's cool. It's like a membership card. clawmoney.world membership card's coming soon. You heard it here first. Why not?
When you do that, are you giving away at the same time money? Like, does that cost you money to...
It costs me money in like production costs, but I think I'm going to work with a currency that has no gas fees. So it's free to give away, but then they can sell them on the secondary market, and they can, like, the customers can benefit off them. And then I think I make like a 10% royalty, which is cool. But I'm really into the idea of free mint. However, I'm trying to figure that out. That's like in my graffiti ethos, in my sort of like stickers in the world ethos. Like, let's just get it out there and see what happens.
So when you purchase, let's say, a free Claw Money NFT,
like any customer that has ever bought anything, I have from 10 years ago, I've been on the same like point of sale. We are working on something, and you are going to plug in your mask, and they're going to be like, oh, you got this order? Boom, you get a free NFT. Oh, you have 3 orders? Boom, you get free NFTs. So do you
receive like a certificate of authenticity?
You're on it's on the blockchain. The blockchain is the COA. If you can like wrap your head around it. The blockchain says that this is truly what it is. It is owned by you. It was made by this person, and you received it on this day because of this. Would it be cool one day to be like, okay, I'm coming out with a song, and everybody who owns Claw NFT, like, you get my song, and I'm like, and do add-ons? That's cool. I like that. I want to hook up my customers. They've been with me for 20 fucking years.
How do you...
Fuck these crypto guys. I mean,
how can you find...
I love you crypto guys.
How can you find all the people who purchased something off you ever? You just have the record from so many years ago?
If they can prove it, or they have the record, or like I said, I've been on the same point of sale for the last 10 years. I guess everyone 10 years before, sorry. Show me your receipt. Show me your sweatshirt. I'll give it to you. I swear to God, I really want to, I would love to do giveaways and make it really fun and make it about collecting without making financial concerns for people. So I think it's a heavy thing. You know, they say they've been talking about this, the legalities. People are like, this is a great investment, this NFT. You can't say that. But I can say claw money is a great investment. In general, in NFTs, in art, in clothing. I stand by that statement.
That's amazing that you're willing to just do that, because when NFTs come to my mind, all you hear is people spending hundreds of thousands, you know, like breaking the bank, you know. So it's amazing that you're just giving that for free.
How can real graffiti be in the metaverse if it costs money? It just can't. Like, yes, can graffiti artists make money? Yes. Can graffiti artists make money in the metaverse? Yes. I want to do it for free. How do I do it for free? I'm figuring it out. It's coming.
What do you think about graffiti in the metaverse? And you've used Oculus, right? So you've used like King Spray.
Yes.
What was it like for you?
It's so fucking good. It's so crazy. It's really... I was like having like serious vertigo. I was like, I'm going to fall off the building. I was like, someone help me. I'm going to fall. I'm like, and somebody said I was like right in their face, and I was like painting, and they're like, claw. I'm like, what? Like, it was incredibly lifelike. The pressure, I couldn't really get the controls well with like changing the caps and the colors, but I only did it once. I bought my kid an Oculus, but he has been so naughty. It has been sitting in its box for 6 months. Like, and I'm like, if you're good this week, you're going to get the Oculus. But I swear to God, I keep thinking like I should just bring it to my studio and go crazy or whatever. It's really cool. What a cool app. I think, you know, it's great for graffiti writers because it really is so lifelike, and you are using your body. It's that like whole like, you know, muscle memory thing. And I also think it's great because now people who don't know how to spray paint can really see how actually difficult it is, like can control and stuff, you know. And you can make limitless shit, you know? It's cool. I like it.
What do you think about its like its legitimacy? Because a lot of people are talking about how writers are going to be getting up in the metaverse, and
but are they? It's all sanctioned. It's not illegal. How do you get up in the metaverse when it's all tracked on the blockchain? It's for nerds. It's not for graffiti writers. How do we get in there? How do we hack in there and get busy in the metaverse? Mm-hmm. How can the blockchain be like blocked?
Well, I meant it on some
okay,
like
figure this out, people. Call me.
Kind of like how on Instagram people maybe paint, but they don't paint as much as it would seem, as much as they're making it seem like through their Instagram and how their Instagram is set up in a way that we can use, like they're going to use the same thing in the metaverse. And not only that, but be respected. Like now, if you're a graffiti writer and you have an Instagram account and has a ton of followers and you post something, like people like, I guess subconsciously accept it. They accept it. It's maybe even respected. Do you think that it can get to a point in, let's say, the metaverse, whatever that is, that it'll be like that? It'll be accepted and respected?
I do. Okay. Next week or the week after, I can't remember, is NFT NYC. Mm-hmm. And I'm on a panel that I helped organize that is called The Erasure of Graffiti and Street Art in the Metaverse. So this is covering this thing that I haven't done the panel on yet. But yes, this is a huge concern of mine. Not that I'm here to gatekeep people's creativity, and not that I'm down to like squash people's dreams. And I love the idea of like NFT that someone can just like put themselves on, right? They can just like get out there and like propagate their shit and be the next Soulja Boy or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Usually that's not the case, and there's like a whole team of strategists and influencers. There's a lot of money behind these projects. It's, you know, smoke and mirrors. Oh, it's I'm a little tiny artist, support me, but not really. So yes, they're going to what Madison Avenue does with graffiti. It's just going to take it and use it and not give you credit and not give the people that laid the foundation the credit. 100%. What's going to happen to graffiti if we can't leave our houses and we're just in the metaverse? Is graffiti going to go away? Or is the metaverse going to be like, fuck, like a real graffiti writer is going to be like, fuck this. I write real graffiti. Like, see you later, you know, King Spray. Like, this is a real, I think the aesthetics are not perfect. So you still know a digital output. It's not real enough.
But that's the crazy part, is that it's not real enough now, but who knows how real it's going to get. As far as I'm concerned, this is like a super primitive version, like Oculus right now and King Spray right now. Eventually, it's going to be crazy. Like, if you look at video games...
They'll give you a can. It'll be like a can, right? Can you imagine if it was like a can? No. Somebody needs to make this, like a can. And then you, like, dial, like, the colors. Like you could just have everything within the can. And, like, what if you could actually just change the nozzles? That would be so cool. Mm-hmm. Of course, you'd be like, where's my fat cap or something, right? My goddamn Oculus fat cap, I need it, or whatever. And then, of course, they make tons of money because you have to buy it from them again. Will that be acceptable? Because even though there are those people that profit off of not really writing graffiti and fronting on the internet, right? There's also tons of people that know that. And that there's tons of people that do shit and put stuff up too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like us as the viewer, the consumer, or whatever we are, we have to be able to sort of like negotiate that. But graffiti is full of successful people that didn't paint shit. They didn't paint shit. And they're fucking famous, making money.
No, it's crazy.
Gotta go all city with your Art Primo marker.
Well, how do you
guys?
How has all of this shit, all of this new technology, social media, NFTs, metaverse, whatever, everything, changed the way that you operate in terms of being self-employed, being a business owner? For example, do you still think that you need to have a physical space? Do you still think that if you're selling clothes, you even need a shop? Like you don't have your shop anymore.
Right,
did that make any difference? Like, if anything, has it become easier for you? What's been your experience?
I fucking miss my store so much. I'd love to see people. I'd love to interact with my customers. I love fashion, and I had like insane like 1970s designer vintage, and it was super fun. It was just, you know, it wasn't a graffiti store or a vintage store. It was just like the crazy Claudia world of all the stuff that like I'm really into. And that's why I do like social media, because I can sort of show you more than one side. Sort of like in business, you sort of just see this like one side of, you know, this output of products and designs and this and that. Social media lets me sort of like get my messaging out and sort of my complex way of thinking. And I'm able to sort of reach more people that don't give a flying fuck about graffiti. I mean, I think half the people that follow me on Instagram have no idea about my graffiti, but I force them to learn, and they will eventually become claw consumers by just the mere fact of just like the drilling, the symbolism, the drilling. I remember early on, before they had like slides and stuff, I'm like, damn, you know, once in a while we put a product on there and people go crazy and we get like thousands of likes, But most of the time people get mad that I'm soliciting and selling and they want like jokes. So how can I work products into jokes? So now, like, I'm famous for all these different things, but those people are like meant to know me. They like this type of humor. They like this, you know, type of brand ethos. They like this type of art, whatever it is. And then I slowly bring like, oh, you like the graffiti, you're gonna like the jokes. You like the jokes, you're gonna like the clothes. You're gonna like the clothes, you're gonna like the graffiti. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to like push them into like the different facets of who I am. And so like in business, like I do like 10 million things. I have like the weirdest fucking jobs. I did a commercial for the American Heart Association for like Women's Heart Health Month. Where the fuck is that commercial? I did it like 6 months ago. I help advertising companies with their ad buys and their aesthetics for advertising. I just worked on a crazy thing for some like huge computer company. I just was in some guy's garage in Flushing that he wants me to like paint, you know, with 10 other artists. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like every day is like sort of an adventure. And I love that. And that's hard to do. I think it's hard to like pivot, but I like to do so many things. It's like fun. And also like, it's just so like niche and weird. Like, who knows what we're going to do from one day to the next. We just get weird calls. But yes, I miss having the store. Sometimes I love not having the store. Like, not getting a call on Sunday night that somebody lost the keys and they can't lock up, and then I gotta like drive down to Delancey, or there's a flood, or you know, whatever. That was like a magical time, and it's sort of I'm happy I did it, but I don't think I would do it again.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think I prefer my privacy now. I prefer not having to, or like going into like public spaces like on my own accord instead of like every day.
Yeah, we spoke to a guest recently actually about that, like having a physical store as opposed to just like an online store. And he described how, you know, to him it was all about the experience that he gave to the customer, not just purchasing the product, but the whole experience of visiting the store, seeing the environment, seeing the people that were there. And in terms of social media, I agree. Like, you know, it's great for connections. It's great for networking and like meeting people. Because essentially, we've talked about this a bunch of times. How you have like everyone's phone number. You know what I mean? Like direct message is a way to contact anyone you want, even if it's a famous person. Yeah, it might be put into like a folder of, you know, unread, whatever. But you can hit up anyone you want with anything. So, but do you think that you know, with social media, sometimes I feel like if you're wanting to approach the creative world, or let's say the fashion industry or streetwear or whatever, sometimes it feels overwhelming that it's such a competitive field, because it almost feels like oversaturated with so many different brands and businesses. So like, how do you even start to approach that if you're like an up and coming, or like you have dreams and goals? Is it all about connections, or like, you know?
I think the best way to start a company is to not put so much pressure on yourself. I think you have an idea, you should make a t-shirt, and you should have low expectations. Meaning, if people aren't buying them, then you got Christmas gifts for everyone in town. Because that's, honestly, like, West FC said that to me. And I mean, he invented streetwear with P&B. He was like, just make a few t-shirts, and if they don't sell, you just give them for Christmas. You give them away to people. And I was like, okay. I'd be like, okay, here's a cool shirt for Christmas, but they sold. Like, it was, and I think if you kind of take that pressure off of like having this, it's the same thing with like graffiti writers, like now having to, right? You sort of take this pressure off of people. You're like, I made these t-shirts. I want to put them into the world. Just like we want to put free NFTs out, like stickers, just, I feel like if it's good, it will come back. You know what I mean? If it's there's a reason for it. T-shirts are a borderless entry. Anyone can do it. You got $250. Boom, you got a brand. Like, God bless. That's a beautiful thing. Yes, there's 1,000 million people making T-shirts, and they're horrible. But you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Not everybody can be Claw Money. No, I'm just joking. But no, you know what I mean? Like, I had already polished my skills. I wasn't a kid when I started Claw Money. You know what I mean? Like, I was already an artist. I was already a fashion stylist. I already like knew, a lot of business ins and outs. Where once I added sort of that low pressure ask of myself, where I forgave myself if it didn't work. I think that's a real bummer. I fucking made these shirts and my name is like, Flammy and nobody's buying them. But if you give them away and people start wearing them and something can come. It's just give yourself a break and try it. Give yourself a break and try it. Spend $250 on Christmas gifts for everyone in your family that all have a Flammy shirt. You know what I mean? Like, why not? The other thing I wanted to say to you about stores and stuff, it's not like I don't have a store. I have a store that all my claw stuff is in, and I'm in the awesomest store in all of New York City, Lambs. I sought out a new home for us because I'd like to work with somebody because I'm always making like one-of-a-kind things, and I'm so happy to be like a part of that like family, and I miss that like retail component, but it's nice that it's not me. I just drop my stuff off and we split the money.
You just felt like there was too much pressure?
I just think that like being a mom, and then we have all the problem with the store is that the real money was made in the back room, which it still is, where I'm doing jobs for other people. So not having the store and constantly having our focus taken away from projects by customer, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like constantly having to like interact, and like also like that store was like a tourist hub for like people looking for the tenement museum. It was like all Jewish people constantly coming to that store, and they're like, "Where's the tenement museum? Do you have a chair?" I'm like, "Oh my God, sit down, here's some water." It would like really like served as this like touch point in that like really fast changing neighborhood, like a safe space for people, but it was very distracting when you had to do like other work. It's nice kind of not having to sort of be in that environment where you're constantly sort of like you're having to like look at, want, help, this, that, like keep it clean, you know what I mean? Like we're in a studio now. It's nice. We're just like, ooh, oops, let's spill paint on the floor. Oops, it's fun.
If you were gonna restart, or if you were like starting up your brand now, starting up everything now, how do you think you'd approach it? Because essentially now there's just so many more options, so many more tools. You started it 20 years ago when there was no Instagram. Instagram's like a centralized. It's like the modern, I guess, New York Times. Like people they don't check the New York Times app. They'll check Instagram.
Right.
So you have this like power to upload shit onto our New York Times that everybody's gonna check, and you can really select what's on your page, and use your stories, add links, and now they're adding the slides. They're adding, with each fucking year, they're adding more and more things that almost, in a way, like that empowers the self-employed more. How do you think you do it?
Well, it's also hard because who are you? Are you or are you the brand, right? Like, so who are you on social media? I have decided to be a person that has a brand and not be the brand. We also have a brand page that is like more focused on the brand and sort of like the ethos of like who the Claw Money like girl is. Like, who is the Claw Money woman? And we speak to her and whoever else likes it. But you know what I mean? How can you be honest and real? Because that's what this is what we're going to really get to. This is the core of all these questions that you've asked me. All this fake shit. Instagram, NFTs, metaverse, virtual, spray painting. People want real. They want something real. They really do. More than ever. If you're real, that will shine through. And I think that is worth its weight in gold over whatever marketing, whatever cool graphic. And that's how you start a business. Be real.
So it's just on the principle of that.
I really think that's what the market's going to demand. If it's not here now, because people seem to really be into these like influencers and this like whole like phony like lifestyle shit, but that's all really going to shift. Mm-hmm. And I think that they really are craving, because of all this sort of catfishing of business, catfishing of look, whatever it is, right? That the internet affords you to be able to do. They want something. And I feel like, to me, that's the secret of success. All the big companies, they really stay true to their like core brand DNA, the realness, and that's what really makes them successful.
What do you have planned next? I know you have like all the stuff you're doing these next few months, all these collabs, different collab a month. How far in the future do you usually plan shit out? And like what do you have coming up next?
I'm a planner. We have the entire year planned out. We have a little beach kit with Megan Masterher coming out in July. We have a big collab with Melody Ashani in August, and the rest you'll have to wait and see. But we're doing a big thing at Basel with 3 other artists, sort of like a claw money sensory immersive experience that's going to be like super weird. I don't know. I think planning is good. I think dreaming is good. How can you apply reality to these things? Like that's, I think that's another thing that a lot of people get caught up in business is they have these like ideas and they're like big ideas, but they don't know how to take the baby steps they need to like kind of get there, because it's a lot of walking before you can run. So in order for us to have done this, we started working on this, I would say, in June of 2021. We're like, okay, next year we're going to be 20 years old. What should we do? We should do this. What should we do? Let's do this. Let's write this list. What do you think? Let's talk to them. Do they want to do it? It's so much work. I mean, I have a staff. Like I can't do it all myself.
So right now you're planning stuff that you're going to release in like 2023.
Correct. I have
Wow.
stuff coming out in
It's crazy.
2023, and I have a project coming out in 2024. And I want to convince the guys from Infamy to do something in 2025. I'm on the board at the museum at FIT for their like hip hop fashion show for 2023, and that started planning 5 years ago.
Wow.
Planning is everything. It really is. And also, this is coming from a person who's been flying by the seat of her pants for 15 years. For the last 5 years, I've planned, and I've seen such a change in my business. Mm-hmm. Let's see, you get what you get. Oh my God, I don't know. No, now I'm like, this is the plan. This is how we're doing it. This is how we're executing it. But that comes with experience. It's, you know what I mean? I don't think there's like one way to do anything. There's luck, there's skill, there's connections, there's associations. All these things can help you in different ways, right? Bring them all together. You got the sauce,
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I love you guys. Yeah. I'm so happy you're doing so well.
Thank you so
exciting.
Much. It's because of people like you who came and really helped us out.
It's only me. It's me. They only watch my episode.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you to your listeners, and let's keep graffiti in the streets and out of the metaverse, people. Come on, get your Art Primo mops. Let's get crazy.
Peace.